So we're in Gerard, Illinois.
So I spoke at the Macoupin County Civil War Roundtable on Lincoln's humor in his darkest hours.
This is the meeting place of the Macoupin County Civil War Roundtable, and I'm John Alexander.
I got to like 10% of the material that I prepared for.
Samir is going to present us a program on Lincoln's humor. He's a guy of action and ideas, and he loves to talk.
Well, I think Samir hit a home run today. I didn't know what to expect.
You ask the average American, or even global citizen, they would say, yes, Mr. Lincoln freed the slaves. He was president during the Civil War. He grew up in a log cabin. What makes him so fascinating is not just that he went from the log cabin to the greatest office in the world. They won't know much more, but they'll feel a love and connection to Mr. Lincoln. Mr. Lincoln is lovable. He's lovable.
He is lovable.
He's also a gifted raconteur. He loves speeches and jokes. He's a people person, but the more I study him, the more I come to love him.
I always say Mr. Lincoln is analogous to books in general. The more you read, the more you realize you don't know.
He was depressed. He lost his sweetheart. He lost his mother, his sister, his 2 children, and all the toils of war. He endured incredible sorrow and anguish. He endured incredible emotional poverty.
But depression can be a good thing if it doesn't go too far. And Lincoln's depression motivated him to overcome and do things to make himself better. So it was a positive thing in his life.
I think Lincoln used humor a lot to escape the misery, maybe, of trying to manage a war that involved the deaths of so many Union soldiers and the wounding.
And Lincoln says, I'd laugh to keep from crying.
To maybe escape, especially with his friends, to tell some stories, as Samir so well told us.
They were very well prepared. The stories were humorous and serious at the same time, and there was good group participation.
Realities of Abraham Lincoln is that he was the first humorist in the White House. He was a humorist. He was incredibly funny, and it was a tool. It was one of the things that he worked on endlessly.
As you were suggesting, that dinner parties, the men would all gravitate to him to hear their jokes. And when he came to town as a lawyer on the circuit, the people would flock to him, not just to be represented in court, but also to hear stories. And Lincoln would collect them.
He could hold court for hours. He wasn't a humorist that he made a set of jokes and he knows when he's going to be funny. He just was funny, and he used humor in such a beautiful way. I think his humor is the most interesting and special. It captivates us still today.
And he also had a very quick mind with words, and he loved wordplay. And he punned all the time, and it was almost automatic. If somebody tells him it, the editor is very penetrating. And Lincoln says, yeah, and his paper should be called The Penny Trader.
So you can see how he applies his vigor and his tenacity of learning.
He's also aware that he's not the best looking guy around. He makes fun of that in brilliant self-deprecating ways. Douglas accuses him of being two-faced, and he says, if I had 2 faces, would I be wearing this one?
But much of his humor had a moral to it and had a message to it.
So he said that Judge Douglas's argument is so thin that it reminds him of a homeopathic soup that's been made from the shadow of a pigeon that's been boiled and starved to death.
To stack a joke like that it's a characteristic that somebody really knows their humor.
That's a pretty thin soup. A pretty thin argument for Judge Douglas.
It's poetic and it's scientific, and I'm into the guy's head. And it's such a cool place to be, because he's such a cool guy.
I'm real proud of Samir to come here to Central Illinois and to pull this off. It's a great accomplishment.
It's very enjoyable, and I'm glad I came.
There were 2 Quaker women, and one of them said, well, I think Jefferson Davis in the South is going to win the war. And the other Quaker woman said, and Mr. Lincoln loved telling this story, and he said, well, why does thee think so? And the woman said, well, because I think Jefferson Davis is a God-fearing man, or
Praying man.
A praying man, thank you. well, isn't Abraham Lincoln a praying man? And the other one said, well, no, the Lord will think he's joking. His humor and his ability to be relatable, it's legendary.
He loved humor and everything, but it also, a lot of it was a way of projecting ideas, I think.
And he was so gifted as a practitioner of sarcasm and ridicule, which, by the way, was a universal language on frontier politics. Everybody was pouring sarcasm and ridicule on everybody else, but he was really good at it.
Didn't he often roast very famous, prominent individuals?
George Folkwater had taken an office. He'd switched political parties, I believe, from the Whigs to the Democrats to accept a position that paid him $3,000 a year. So he erected a lightning rod on his new house that he purchased with some of this $3,000. So Mr. Lincoln said that I would rather, live long or die young. I'd rather die now than, like the gentleman, switch my politics to accept a position for $3,000 and then have to erect a lightning rod above my house to protect a guilty conscience from an offended God.
How much fun was it as you're doing your research? How much times you find yourself laughing at what Mr. Lincoln said or what took place?
Time and again, it's very, very, very amusing. And it really does humanize him, as you suggest. He is the man in marble sitting on the throne in the Lincoln Memorial, but he's also a very funny guy.
And he called laughter the universal evergreen
of life.
He was funny, he was beautiful, and we can cover that. But two is his mental agility, his sagacity, his keen mental discernment.
Mr. Lincoln was so emotionally, politically, and strategically intelligent.
Lincoln was like Beethoven in music, Dante in poetry, and Raphael in painting, and in Christ in the philosophy of life.
But he was a very bright guy and a very powerful, logical mind.
He was magnanimous. He took the high road.
Lincoln is a model of that sort of more moral politics.
When you think about Mr. Lincoln's greatness of character, his depth of feeling, his peculiar moral power.
It's this sort of moral center of believing in something that's larger than himself. And I think that's what makes Lincoln still so relevant in our own time.
Lincoln was always very relatable, and I think that's why he's still in the memory now, and for the most part still loved.
You can take Lincoln out of the 1800s and put him in our modern day, and it works. It works perfectly.
People oftentimes ask me, Samir, why Mr. Lincoln? Why have you spent so much time in...
What was your first one that really got you into Lincoln?
When did you get the Lincoln bug? How did that kind of come about?
How did you get interested in Lincoln?
Mr. Lincoln made the comment that every man is said to have their peculiar ambition. And whether it be true or not, I, for one, can say that I have no greater than being of esteem by my fellow men and then rendering myself worthy of that esteem.
And when you look at history, who you can admire, who you can seek to emulate.
Mr. Lincoln lives in all of us.
There'd be few, if any, better examples than our beloved Mr. Abraham Lincoln.
In the debates, I think at the end of one debate, he says, now, I don't want to call Judge Douglas a liar, but when I square him up, I don't know what else to call him.
And that's so, clever.